Storing beet for whole years feeding have always been a challenge. In the past it was common to feed the beet fresh in Northern Europe, but it comes with some challenges on farm, and it's not possible to feed the beet during spring and summer. Therefore, ensiling beet have been a very interesting alternative. Initially, beet was ensiled with maize at harvest time, but there you do not get the full potential of the beet in the yield because you lift them too early. Nevertheless, farmers have been trying to ensile in what we call lasagna style or one-pot style. Lasagna style, you have to take out the silage from one silo and enter it to the next and put the beet in between, meaning you put them in layers. This also needs a lot of work, but it has been done. You can do it with maize or you can do it with grass, doesn't matter, it works both. Finally, you can also do it in what's called one-pot style, where you mix the beet with the silage before you enter it into the bunker silo again. This also needs a new silo to ensile in, but it's possible. If you do not have a silo, you could put it in a tube or in these high compressed bales. During recent years, Danish farmers have been experimenting in co-ensiling beet without mixing. Instead, they have placed the chopped beet on top of existing silage and close it with plastic again. Then from the beet, the effluent will be absorbed by the silage, and with this sweet topping, we could make it a brownie style silage. With this approach, farmers could get the highest possible yield out of both the beet and the silage crop, which can be maize or grass. On top, this method do not require that you have to take out silage from one bunker silo, enter it into another, and by this we minimize the risk of re-ensiling losses too. And farmers can plan the whole chain, harvest, leaving the beets in the pile for 3 weeks, and when they want to ensile in late autumn or winter. The beet have to be stored for 3 weeks in the pile because they have to mature, and when they mature they keep the effluent better, and it's also easier to clean them afterwards. But how do we get the beets on top of the silage? For several years we have been trying to investigate and find the right way to do it, and very efficient. And in the past, company like VDW have produced a shovel like this, and then they have developed ever since. And today they have really found a very nice way to do it and very efficient. And you can see in the shovel and the cutter that it has some small hooks, and these small hooks is making a kind of a crumble and bigger pieces, and when you combine these you have a very compact mass of beet. And this small hook grabs the beet and makes the crumble. If you look into the bottom, you will see the counterpart where the knives are heading to, and with this kind of way that they are mounted here makes it possible to chop the beet twice. In the bottom you see the red part, and this is divided into different parts that can open if you have a stone. So stone is not an issue for the shovel or the knives, it will not harm it. It will just open and let out the stone, and you can continue. When it's done like this, it's better than in the past. In the past it was 2 large pieces and we could not ensile them very nice. But with this device we can ensile the beet on top of our existing silage. And this really makes it efficient and very, very economical also, because we save a lot of work. You ensiled your crop normally, and when it's time for the beet to be ensiled, you just take off your plastic of the silo, of the silage, and then you add your beets in the layer that you have already decided before. So they will fit into how much beet and silage you feed every day, and the allocation will be perfect. After adding the beet on the top, you just put on your plastic again, and then job is done. This is the silage ready for use, where we have the beet on top. Originally we had 80 centimeters of beet fine chopped here, and this means that the effluent is going approximately 80 centimeters down in the silage. The beet layer itself is reduced more or less to 50% of original height due to the ensiling. And if we look to the beet pieces, we have a very, very nice distribution between larger pieces and the crumble, and this crumble makes it possible for the beet to fall down and ensile by themselves without driving in it. We have analyzed this silage and it shows that the quality is very good. The pH in the beet is 3.9. In this layer with the absorbed sugar water it's 3.7, and in the maize it's 4.0. The level of bacteria, mold and yeast are very low, and it shows that the silage preservation quality of both beet and maize layers is very good, as they have a decent amount of acetic and lactic acid and an absence of butyric and propionic acid. With this nice analysis of the silage here, it shows what we have been already thinking, that this is the future for ensiling beet. And for summer feeding it's very good, because our experience is that in this way you are getting rid of the heating of the silage during summertime. This is not existing anymore when you're doing like this. This beet layer is not very high. You can add up to 1 meter above your silo wall. What is important before you start is that you have 50 centimeters of the silo wall to start with, and then you can add the beet on top. So there is not a limitation besides this 1 meter. So with this, we have a future and very easy way of handling, storing and feeding the beet.